Hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are going to be setting up the ultimate helmet vlogging system. Well, will it be the ultimate? Nah, I don't know. There are so many iterations that I've seen online. Everyone kind of, I would say that most of the guys that show you how it's done, they've already done it and they're just showing you what they did. My goal today is to actually take a camera, all of the mounting equipment and everything that you need, and actually set the camera up on film so that you can see what we're doing. So what I'm going to do, let's walk in here and I'm going to show you the helmet that I'm using, the camera that I'm using, the equipment that I'm using, and the adhesion materials that I am using. Now, lighting and those sorts of things, I'm going to take my sunglasses off because we're inside. Lighting and those sorts of things is always another battle that we YouTubers are faced with. So I'm going to open these curtains here in hopes that I have some good natural backlight, so we shall see. I'm going to be very specific, and there will be a detailed list below here of each item, where you could buy that item and what it would cost. I'll even put below the link the MSRP or what I paid for these items, and you'll have everything that you need. So I'm going to continue gathering things up, and we're going to get ready to set up the ultimate vlogging helmet for you, because I've had a lot of people ask me about starting a YouTube channel, and this is kind of square one. I think most people will have computers and they have some sort of software on there, something that's more than adequate for starting a YouTube channel. But the helmet vlog is the one question that I get asked more than anything else, and I've done it a lot of different ways. Hopefully this is going to even be a more excellent way, in the words of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So here we go. I'm going to give you a list. This is what we're doing. All right, so we have an AGV K3 helmet. This is a lower end of the AGV line. What I look for in a vlogging helmet, I'm going to move this camera out of the way because I'm not utilizing it yet. What I look for in a vlogging helmet is a chin curtain. And this is a chin curtain. And what this curtain will do is your microphone, when you mount it to the front of this chin bar, that curtain cuts down on a lot of that buffeting wind noise. I like a full face helmet with a chin curtain for vlogging. So there's the AGV K3 helmet. For mounting, the helmet itself has a point here, so you can't really mount on the front of this helmet. Concave right there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's just enough of a curve to create a problem when you're trying to do this. There's a lot of daylight in there. So what do? Because you need superior adhesion, this is what everything is going to hook to. So this is a SuGru moldable glue. I'm going to use it to fill in the voids like a JB Weld type product. This is the foundation of it right here. That is going to be right there on the helmet. Next thing you're going to need is this little buckle. This buckle clips right in here. Now, I want to make a comment on these buckles. This is an actual GoPro buckle. I have used several buckles out of moldable plastic that are the Amazon. I've broken many of these where these clip in and out. Personally, I stick with the GoPro brand when it comes to things that flex that are made of plastic. Can the GoPro one break? Obviously it can. Let's just hope it doesn't. As with every GoPro person, I have a litany of different size attachment screws for the buckles. These are the buckles. They are just a series of little swivelly buckles. Every helmet's going to differ on these, and what you have to do is just be patient and play with them. This is every buckle that I have. I've broken pretty much all of the others, and I didn't think I was going to have enough to do this, but I am, and it worked out perfectly. GoPro Hero 8 Black, and I have taken the end door off. It just swivels out and pops off. That's where your battery goes in, okay? And then this is the media mod case. This media mod case, what it does, this camera, nowhere on it has a place to plug in a microphone. Now on the 7s and the 6s, you had to buy an adapter that you would have to mount differently to your helmet, and you had a lot of problems, your audio just not being there. So far so good with this. You pop this open, you take your camera, you can see you've got this little metal piece here, you've got a metal slot there, it slides right in, clicks in, there it is. The little legs pop out on the bottom to mount, and you will plug your microphone in right there. This case renders this camera not waterproof. Always remember that. If you're using this in the rain, you can destroy your camera, and if you do, GoPro won't cover it. Last but not least, a microphone with way too much cable. This is made by Panda. I've got several extra Purple Panda pieces and that sort of stuff because, yes, I have destroyed many of these microphones. This will plug into the camera. Then you have to mount your microphone inside the camera and run your wire in a very inconspicuous manner. So there's every piece that we're going to utilize to make this helmet a vlogging helmet. After we get done doing that, we're going to pop this face shield off, and we're going to finish setting the helmet up itself. I've got a pin lock to go on this. We'll explain pin lock technology, what it is when we put that on there. The helmet itself, we'll talk a little bit about the features after we get this done. But I'm kind of excited. I'm ready to get this a try. I'm going to go get some rubbing alcohol to clean the surface, and I'll show you how I'm lining everything up. All right, so for folks who have done this before, it may seem somewhat monotonous, but I am going to go through all of the details. There are two types of mounts for the helmets. One is curved. This is the curved one, and this is a flat one. You can see when I press them together, it's not a huge curve. But if you're mounting to a helmet that has some curve to it, it'll benefit you because that little bit, just that little bit, can make a difference. Now this helmet is curved two ways. It's curved this way, and that's why I have to use the SuGru. So before ever adhering anything, the first thing I always do is I make sure that it is free of any sort of oils, skin oils, bug guts, whatever, and I clean it. First thing I do is I determine how the camera needs to sit, because I can tell you that when you start messing with these buckles, you'll be like, well, that one turns 90 degrees and that one doesn't, and all that, and all of a sudden your camera's looking at the ground. So what I've done, I've taken the liberty of putting these together where I need them. There's no rocket science to it. It is simple thumb screw, and these buckles go together and they turn at different angles, and you assemble them in the order that you need. So I'm going to take this. This is the actual buckle that's going to hook into the side of the helmet. I'm going to take this now. I'm going to attach it here. So now we have a basic system, right? Take the camera. You always want to test fit your camera before you glue something on, because once you glue it on, are you going to be able to get it off? Possibly with a little bit of heat, yes. But is it something you want to have to do? I don't want to have to do it. Remember, whenever you're riding a helmet, it tilts. You know, you're leaning, you're moving forward and all that stuff. So if I have a camera right here, you can see, looking at this, now all of a sudden that camera's tilted. Well, you're going to have a little bit of wiggle room to move this thing back and forth. But if you move it too far this way and you can't go far enough, all of a sudden you have a camera that is rendered useless because you can never get it right. So what I try to do is I try to set it where the camera, I've got a little bit of wiggle room, and I set these things all parallel here. Then I use, you see this straight line here? I use that to line up my camera, looking at it to say, is it straight with that? If it's straight with that, then I know it's parallel with the ground. I can't go way in because you can see we've got this curve here. So about as far as I can go is right there. So slightly off center, which is fine by me. And then what I do is I'll take this, I'll hold it here. I'll hold it nice and snug. I'll get the pencil, draw a line, You can see, there it is. So if I take that and I line it up here, so it's set, it's ready to go, and as long as I put it in that line, I'm gonna be okay. So now I know where my buckle has to go. I can take all of this apart here so that now I'm not fighting with the weight of a camera and all that stuff. I'm not fighting with the camera anymore. Now all I'm dealing with is this. You can see my lines right there. I'll look at it. I'll double check it. Everything looks fine. Lines up all the way around. And then I take my moldable glue. It says to allow 24 hours to allow this to dry. And I'll just kind of press it in. Okay. And I want it as evenly distributed as I can possibly get it. So I just I take my finger and I just spread it out. I think it's gonna go. So you can see there it is. Now I'll take the tape off of this. There we go. It's pretty darn sticky, as you know. So now I'll take it, I'll put it right over this SuGru where it was, and I've got my lines. So I start looking at all of them, and you have to trust those lines. I'm gonna open this face shield so I can put some pressure on it. So now I'm just gonna press it in. All right, you can see I've got some sticking out there. I'm gonna take a razor blade, I'm gonna cut that. Just barely touching it because it's not hard. It's literally like a, just take it, peel it right off. And then what I'll do is I'll go around to areas where it's not seeping out of, and I'll start shoving it up under there because I like it to be solid all the way around. I got a lot sticking out down here. Clean that up. So now I start going around the edges and I'm looking for any voids at all. At this point you can work with it a little bit, but you're gonna be hard pressed even getting it off at this point. So that should give you a little bit of confidence on what you're doing. But don't be afraid to work it and press this stuff in as much as you can so that you have no voids anywhere. If you had a really big void, you could use 2 packs of this glue and you'd be fine. Now, I've got friends who tell me I'm way overkill on this stuff and that I stress too much about little things. But one of the things Coach Bob does not want to do is leave a $400 GoPro or $300 GoPro, depending on which model you get, and when you bought it, on the side of the road. Like I said, I am a neat freak when it comes to this stuff, and I know you will be too. You want your helmet to look nice. You pay money for things. You don't want it looking terrible. So I'll go back like this, and I'll just do a little cleanup all the way around. It doesn't take but a minute, and to me, those things, when you go back and you look at things, it'll look like it was actually made on the helmet, and that's what I want. I want it to look like it's supposed to be there. Now, if you're off a 32nd of an inch, that is not a problem. It really isn't. So don't freak out if you see a little bit of your line and you're going, oh no, what have I done? You're gonna be okay. In fact, it's a lot more forgiving. I say just go into it really shooting more for perfection so that you're not stressed out. But if it is a little off, don't freak out about it. You're gonna be fine. One of the hardest things for me through all of this as a vlogger or a YouTube guy or whatever you want to call me is the idea that you can't have perfection. And I am one of those uptight guys. I worry about everything. Once all this dries, but I don't want to risk any adhesion issues. But once all of this dries, I'll take a wax type material. I'll clean the helmet real well and it'll look beautiful. Okay, so there it is. And we got a nice seal all the way around. And you can see I can still press a little bit out. So I'm gonna keep pressing. So there is that part of it. Okay, now is all of our weaknesses. The patience of allowing it to sit there and dry. I'm gonna set the helmet to the side, and the next time we're together, This will be dry and it will be time to move on to the next step. All right, so step one is complete. That it was the adhering of the fastener to the helmet. Step two is let's get the buckle assembled with the camera and put it on the helmet. What we will do here is actually have a camera on a helmet that will work for videoing. Won't be good for audio yet, but it will be good for video. So here's the buckle that attaches to the helmet. It's going to clip right in there. These right here, you can see that they look a little different. One's 90 degrees and one is straight. It turns 90, that was straight. This one is another 90 degree. So we're going to come out of here and we're going to go straight out of this. Now, I'm doing this where the screw will go in through the bottom for both of them, because I don't want the screw going through the top impeding my vision any more than the camera already is going to do it. I'll be buying some of these Allen screws. I'll have a size for you. Can't recall exactly what size I got. Again, screw is going to be going in from the outside in. Now, I'm not tightening this down yet, and there's a reason for that, because I don't want this thing to be so tight that I can't manipulate it. You've got the front of the camera, you've got this amount of space that's sticking out front. There again, the screw I'm going to have coming in from the outside. The camera's going to be sitting here. I don't want the screw on this side, I want it on the outside. Remember when you're tightening these type screws down, not to kill them, because if you do, you will break the plastic, because you can put an enormous amount of torque on that right there. I'll take the camera. Remember, I said everything is loose, so I can move everything. Now I'll take the camera. So that's what we have. Take this, and we'll see if our work from yesterday came out solid. Doesn't seem to be moving at all. There we go. So now you see the camera looks all jacked up. We'll straighten all that up. Now remember how I use this bar? I'm going to flip this down. I use this bar for that vertical plane when mounting the camera. So when you're looking at your camera, because your head and the helmet is odd shaped, I'll keep these loose. So I'll look on this horizontal plane, which is like this. I've got plenty of room that I can adjust. If you're a little off, not a big deal. You just don't want it to be all crooked, because it's not going to be perfectly straight anyway, because your head is going to be moving around when you're riding a motorcycle. So now all I have to concern myself with is the gap between the helmet. I don't want it hitting the helmet, and I don't want it way out. So I want it as close as I can get it. So I'm going to turn it to the side right here, so you can see this little gap here. But I want the camera also to be flat front to back. And that's where a little bit of eyeballing comes into place. All right, so I got it snugged. There again, it's not tight. I can still manipulate it. Okay, nice and straight, nice and solid. So now we actually have a camera mounted to the front of a helmet. Step three, microphone. So what we have here is, this is called a dead cat. This goes over the windscreen on your Purple Panda microphone. When you plug into your GoPros, you're gonna have this multiple pin connector. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3. This is what the GoPro accepts, is this one. This comes with your Purple Panda microphone, but you have to use that little adapter. Now we have to make sure that this will plug in to the camera, and we want to be able to plug it in without moving the camera, and we can do that. So now what we have to do is get this wire inconspicuously routed inside of the helmet, and then this will be mounted on the inside of this chin bar right in front of my mouth. Now the next hurdle is to fasten this inside of the helmet. What I like to do is find a little piece of Velcro tape and these pieces, and I will Velcro like this on the inside of the helmet. All right, I am one of those guys that keeps everything. This came with my Cardo Pack Talk Bold to mount microphones in the front of helmets. And so what I'm going to do is use this. I'm going to take the face shield off, because we're going to be doing a pin lock installation here in a little while, and we will just get this out of the way. Let's just press it down. There we go. Right there, just press it down. There it is, it's right off there. It's gonna be hard for you to get in here and see what I'm doing. Suffice it to say, there's just a piece of plastic right there, and this is just gonna stick on a piece of black plastic. It doesn't get much more simple than that, and I'm just gonna stick it right there to that piece of plastic. That's all I'm gonna do. So as with anything that I'm going to tape or secure, I always get alcohol and clean that surface, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. Clean all this area in here. So here's what we have. Just a simple piece of black Velcro tape in there. All right, so these are actually designed to go around cables, like speaker cables and that sort of thing. You can see they're pretty big, but it already has a slot cut in it. So what you do is you will normally just wrap that around a cable, and then you twist that around the cable, and that's what holds the cable together. So you don't have to use a zip tie or tape or any of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it through here like this, because this is the side that's going to stick to it. Run it all the way out to the end. Now at this point, I can feed it however I want, and I can run as much through here as I want or don't want. So it's just going to basically sit like that inside of the helmet, but I want to leave plenty of material there for it to stick to. So let's just cut a little bit of that off of here, the rough side of the Velcro, and it will stick to the smooth side of the Velcro. That's all there is to it. I can turn and manipulate it in any way that I please. So what I'm going to do is just tuck that wire all in. Now this wire is very pliable, and it is also very delicate. I know, because like I said, I've destroyed many of these. Hopefully I don't destroy one today on camera. So the question is, can I take that log of wire there and feed that behind that cheek pad? I believe that I can. That was actually very, very easy. So there it is. We take this now, just plug this back in, plug these together, and I'll just simply take this, and I'll see if I can't Velcro all of that right there. So there we have it. It's Velcroed in, it's nice and solid. And we have a motovlog helmet, just like that. But before we do a test ride, I do want to talk about pin lock technology. This is a pin lock face shield. This is the pin lock that goes on it right here. Now what a pin lock actually is it's a double pane of plastic, or we'll call it a double pane window, and it keeps this thing from fogging up. So this will be the second pane of window that attaches to the inside of this face shield. There's a silicone seal around the edge and a protective covering on here that keeps you from damaging anything. So what I've done, I've cleaned the face shield very good. I've taken a lint-free glasses cleaning cloth. Make sure that everything is nice and clean. So all we have to do, face shield is here. We flatten the face shield out. We put these two pieces behind the pin locks, and this silicone seal should work its magic. Well, I tell you what, when they say you got to flex it out, you have to flex it out. All right, there it is, as simple as that. Then there's a protective coating on this, and just like that, you have a pin lock face shield. Nice. Now to put this new fancy pin lock shield back on the helmet. Okay, this side's in, that side's in, easy, beautiful. We now have a pin lock face shield. This is the helmet that we are using, the K3 SV, the SV standing for sun visor. Is that sun visor as smooth or as transparent as a Shoei sun visor? I will tell you from experience, it is not. That pin lock does make that face shield a lot more solid feeling. I'm gonna put the dead cat on the microphone now and trim a little hair off of it. So now this is going inside the helmet. Shove it right down in there. I'm gonna put it on, see how that feels. All right, I'd say that works well. I can barely feel it. Now, let's go for a ride and see how it does. All right, so we are on Haskell. That is my SV 650. And I've got the face shield up on the helmet. So, I'm gonna lower my sun visor here a little bit. There we go. Protect the old eyes there.
The reason I brought Haskell is he is the loudest motorcycle I have. He's all warmed up, ready to go. I even got a little heat in the tires, that sort of thing. So we're going to run on up to about 50 with the face shield open. The one thing that this helmet is not really a quiet helmet. I'm going to lower the face shield now. We're at 52. Okay, so now I'm inside the helmet with the shield down. It's running on up to about 60. So here is 60 miles per hour. Now, if I were on the Spyder, it will be exponentially quieter. They're 63, 64, that sort of thing. I love this road. I ride over here a lot. I'll run up and down where those 2 turns are, 3 turns are. And I'll just run back and forth for a while. But this is the first in the So You'll Want to Be a YouTube Star series. Trying to help folks get set up, see what they need to purchase. Again, down in the description, I'll have everything itemized, listed out, and all of that stuff. Bike stops very well. See all the straw, everything in there. That's a good place to bust your buckus. Again, I think the sweet spot for noise is going to be under 50. At least, you know, if it's without a windshield. On the Spyder, I'm sure it will be more than quiet enough. It's a beautiful day, man. I love Florida. You know, when I moved here, I hated Tallahassee, and it's got a little curve up here I can enjoy. We'll whip right around this thing. I have a few things that I have to think about yet. It's not natural to me, so I'm repositioning my body. Can't tell. Downshift. Here we go. Nice. Just for those curious about buying an SV650X, I will be doing a review on it, my thoughts on it. I seem to make a lot of people angry when I say anything negative about the SV. It is one of those bikes that has kind of a cult following. Alright, so we are on the Spyder. Time to do a little sound check on the Spyder as well. Obviously the Spyder is a much quieter ride. Got the windshield and all that. You don't realize how much noise a conventional motorcycle really makes until you get on something like this and you go, wow, man, what a super quiet ride. I've got the face shield up, and we're gonna get this puppy on up to about 75-80 miles an hour on this trip, just to check it all out. I got the radio off, I got everything turned down, so it's just a matter of just riding. The face shield is up. I am doing 65 miles an hour or 62 miles an hour. Got this little curve to take here. My ears would not be ringing in this helmet on this, I'll tell you. So let's get it on up. Like I said, I got the face shield up. So here we are at 70 miles an hour, face shield up. Lowering it down. Face shield is down. It is nice and quiet in this helmet, I will tell you that. At least from where I am. So here we are, 58 miles an hour. Alright, man, the Spyder is so much fun to ride. If you're a motorcycle guy and you just like riding, you cannot go wrong with a CanAm Spyder. You just can't do it. I love this thing. I beat it to death, I will tell you. I take care of it, but I ride this thing, man. I ride it, and when we go. We don't mess around. We will do 500-600 mile days without hesitation, so I don't mind putting some big miles in, I'll tell you that. All right, we're gonna get on up to about 80. So here I am, 80 miles an hour, man, just cruising along. Slow down just in case that is the law. Don't want to get in no trouble today. Certainly don't need no ticket. I'm sure you would never speed. But the sound of this helmet is obviously not a problem on the Spyder. I could ride this all day long with this setup, and it's just wonderful. The Spyder is a wonderful, wonderful ride. there again, if you're a rider and you're reticent, you're like, what is the purpose? I actually, I don't know if you guys watch Yami Noob. He'll review motorcycles, and then every now and then he'll just show us a picture of a Spyder, and he'll go, what is that monstrosity? Who would ride such a thing? Yeah, I get it. I remember those days. I'm not there anymore, but I like Yami Noob. I am a subscriber, have been a long time subscriber. So Yami, I know you're way too big and important to see this video, but if you do, how's it going, man? Tell you what, I'm gonna have to get a little more room in my garage. I'm gonna have to do a little more organizing. Woo, I love it. Oh yeah. These roads are so fun to ride. They're so beautiful back here, but you do have to be careful. They are narrow, and I have come around a curve and been looking at the front of a car. That's true with no matter what blind curve you're on, though. So just, if you're out riding, be careful. Stay in your lane, whether you're on a motorcycle or a car. But the sound on this, I think, is going to be superlative. I think it's going to be beautiful and on the Spyder. Yes, sir, I do. So I'm going to head back to the house. We've done our little sound check on it. I want you to do me a favor this week. Go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, you know it, if you ain't having fun, baby, you are doing it wrong. So you go out and seize the day, and we will see you on the road real soon. Looking forward to it. See ya.